And we are live. Back again with yet another one, and it's match week 9 of this season's English Premier League. The review. We previewed these games a couple days ago. We made our predictions, we give our thoughts, and now we are going to react to the results. So, how's everybody doing? It's your boy Dom. It's nice to be back, man. Nice to be back. We had a good weekend. Definitely. There's still one match left to go in Leicester City coming up against Nottingham Forest. I actually thought that game was going to be played on a weekend. I didn't know that was a Monday game, but I'm not going to be waiting up for that game because I got things to do, you know what I'm saying? And when you see me come out with a live stream this early in the day, well, for me, it's what, 10 a.m.? I have things to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm about business these days. All right, so guys, let's get into these matches. You could see the headline reads, Haaland makes Premier League hat-trick history. And City strikers' latest trouble sets a competition record in high-scoring Manchester derby ever. So the highest scoring Manchester derby ever. 9 goals in that derby. Haaland scoring 3 consecutive home hat-tricks, the first player to ever do so. Haaland and Foden scoring hat-tricks in a Manchester derby, the first players to do so maybe in about 50 years. So it was a historic weekend and a very, very entertaining derby. The North London derby was pretty good as well, but the Manchester derby was better. I have to say that, man. And Man United soaped up. Oh, man. Washed, rinsed out, and put out to dry. Oh man, it was a hell of a game. I was watching this game and I just couldn't believe it, man. The frequency of which the goals are scored, I really couldn't believe it. So I like to say big up to Legan Sweet, BX Gunner in the house. Big up to the boy Doug. How you doing, Doug? What you up to? The awesome BLE. Big up to you, Godzilla King, Jordan, Easy Money Sniper, everybody who checked in today already, man. Big up to you guys, man. Doug says that wasn't a derby, that was a total smackdown. Indeed, 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 indeed. So, look, let's get into proceedings, man. Let's talk about these 10 games, a lot of matches. So I'm not gonna. I'll get to the game. I'll get to the derby where I give my thoughts and everything. So I don't want to spend the whole live stream talking about it. So let's get into these matches. Let's start with some light stuff first. Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0. What was my prediction for this one? I'm gonna let you guys know what I predicted for this. I think I predicted a Brentford win for this. Let me see. Yeah, I predicted a 2-1 win for Brentford. I thought that, Bournemouth's little run after the 9-0 drubbing would have come to an end because of the international break and everything. But it seems like Bournemouth just continue to be resilient, man. These guys are not, laying down and getting beaten again. I think that 9-0 loss to Liverpool was actually a big wake-up call. And you got to give a lot of credit to Gary O'Neill, the interim manager. I actually think they should make him the permanent manager, and he was actually nominated for manager of the month for September, and he should have won it. It should not have been Ten Hag. Yesterday's result in the derby exposed why neither Marcus Rashford nor Ten Hag should have won those awards. But listen, man, it is what it is. You can't change it. It's already happened. But for Bournemouth in this home game, I think they were actually. I didn't watch the game live, but from the review, the replay highlights, I think they were actually the better team on the day. And maybe they feel like they were unlucky not to get a penalty when Zamora was taken down in the box, and the referee went to the screen to do a VAR review and still didn't see no clear and obvious error. And Ivan Toney had to head a ball right off the line as well. So even though Brentford did get a few opportunities in the game, I think Bournemouth were actually, the better and more comfortable team, and they would feel like they should have got 3 points instead of 1. So Brentford, I guess they're counting their lucky stars here. and they too walk away with a point. Look, in terms of the lineups, let's just see, check out the lineups. See, for Brentford, you see Mikkel Damsgaard started this game. Well, I don't know. Where's Dams? Yeah, Damsgaard started this because I know I saw him in the setup for the midfield during the highlights, but guess he was a little bit more forward. So he started his first Premier League game. I think that was his first Premier League game. Aaron Hickey dropped to the bench. Aya played at right back. I think Joshua Silva dropped out the 11. You see Zanka getting some minutes there as well. Super sub Johan Wissa couldn't come to the rescue today. On the day, not today, what am I saying? And over on the other side, you see Gary O'Neill choosing to play both Dominic Solanke and Kiefer Moore in the same team, with Solanke going out a bit wider. I've been impressed with Philip Billing, Marcus Tavernier. I'm, slotted into that his position really well, transitioning well from a lower league to the Premier League. So you got to give Bournemouth a lot of credit here for bouncing back, man, because a lot of these players, never played in the league before. Some of them did, coming back from the Championship, and Neto has done a great job in goals since that 9-0 job in on the Mark Travers. I did say that might be the end of Travers. And if you remember, goalkeeper by the name of Angus Gunn, formerly of Man City, he suffered a 9-0 drubbing in Southampton. I don't think he's recovered since, So Travers, you might have to wait a few years for him to resurge. So look, not much more to actually add here. Maybe for Bournemouth, maybe they could have put on more substitutes. Jaden Anthony has proven himself to be a super sub. Maybe Gary O'Neill should have thrown him on. But I guess a point is still a very, very, very good result for a team that we all think would go back down to the Championship. So look, not much more to add. Thomas Frank, he's doing a quiet job at Brentford. You see with guys like Bruno Lage, Scott Parker already getting sacked, a few other guys under pressure. Some of these guys are going about their jobs very, silently and effectively, I should say. So with that result, in terms of the standings, we have Brentford in 10th with 10 points. So that's not a bad start. 8 matches, 10 points. Pretty good. Pretty good. And Bournemouth themselves have 9 points. So unbeaten since that 9-0 loss to Liverpool, and 9 points in 8 games. If they continue like that, they'll survive. They'll end up with what? About 39, 40, 42 to 42 points. And that is what they need. They would like to improve and win more matches, but 13th is not bad at all. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments. I'll hit the comments pretty soon. But before we do, in terms of Bournemouth, their next game will be against Leicester City. And for Brentford, their next one would be against Newcastle United. So once again, big up to everybody in the house right now. Doug said the amazing KDB has never won the Player of the Month award in the Premier League. That's nuts. And he should have won it last season. He should have won it. Not last season, last month. He should have won it. He really should have won it. I don't know how Marcus Rashford got it, but Kevin De Bruyne was awesome. I didn't mind, giving Gary O'Neill the manager of the month, but to give it to Ten Hag was like, okay, like, what are you doing? You see what I'm saying? So big up to Adnan in the house, who says, what's up, Dom? I've been busy, not ducking smoke. I'm sure you're on cloud 9 this season. It ain't nothing new, bro. It ain't nothing new. You see what I'm saying? It ain't nothing new, but I am on a high though. Watching Haaland and Foden and Kevin De Bruyne and company play. It's been a delight to watch. So guys, smash up the thumbs up button if you're yet to do so. Definitely appreciate that. Adnan is saying that Bournemouth are still going down. Okay. So Sebastian is saying he won't be here the whole time because he's busy. You want to run away before we get to the Liverpool section, right? I know. It's okay. Manchester United thought they was back. We give them a reality check indeed. Indeed. So, guys, we're going to keep it moving. Let's move on to the other nil-nil game of the weekend. Leeds nil, Aston Villa nil. So, good point for Leeds. Good point for Villa as well. You know, even though Villa would feel like they should have gone on to win that game after they were the better team throughout the match, and Luis Sinisterra picked up a second yellow pretty early in the game. That's 48 minutes. So Aston Villa had ample amount of time to use that one-man advantage to actually go on to win the match. So look, in terms of my prediction for this one, I did predict a 2-2 draw. So I was pretty on point with the draw, but it ended up being a scoreless draw. So if we check the lineups really quick for these teams, Leeds, I think, they have been making quite a few changes because I remember they were talking about the last lineup that faced Aston Villa, and it's a totally different lineup. A lot of new faces there. You could see Adam, Sinistera, Roca, Anderson, Rasmus Christensen, all new faces. Players were played out of position. Cock, I think, was in midfield. Strike was in center back, I think. So I think Jesse March has just brought some semblance to Leeds United after their very, disruptive period under Marcelo Bielsa that got him sacked and put Leeds in jeopardy of going down. So you got to give the American a lot of credit, though. He was in the stands watching the game, and he must have been very frustrated to see Sinistera get sent off. Sealy sending off. I think he encroached on a free kick or something, and he got sent off. And players got to be accountable for these stupid, silly red cards. So, but I don't think Leeds they didn't play badly, but there was a few chances early on in the game that wasn't taken. Rodrigo, a few, close opportunities that wasn't taken. But overall, I think Villa were the better team on the day, man. I think Coutinho had hit the post, hit the woodwork, I should say. There's a few opportunities. I guess it's fair to say, a point is a fair result, I should say, for both teams. Because even though Leeds didn't play so impressively, especially after going down to 10 men, you got to give them credit for holding on. You see what I mean? And Villa, who should have actually gone on to win the game using the advantage, didn't. So some more things to talk about. Agustinson, who started his first game for Villa on loan from Sevilla, he had to go off injured. So that would add to Aston Villa's defensive woes, as quite a few defenders are out with injuries, including the likes of Diego Carlos, who was brought in for big money. Matt Cash still recovering as well. Luca Dina, missed the game. So, kudos to guys like Ashley Young for stepping in and doing such a good job. Boubacar Kamara as well. He's out for a long-term period. Douglas Luiz slotted in, in his absence and added a lot of quality to the lineup as well. So, look, I mentioned that Philip Coutinho is on fraud watch. I think he had a decent game, but could be a lot better. I think he could up his level a little bit more. So, look, a point apiece. Quality result for Villa because they were dropping points left, right, and center. And I think they pulled things back. They've reeled things in quite a bit because they're 14th, 8 points. They've unbeaten across the last 3 games, 2 draws and a win. And that would help instill some confidence in a very quality Aston Villa team, I should say, So let's see how they continue to play as the season progresses. So for Leeds, mixed bag of results lately. That draw would have done them a world of good after having 2 losses and 2 draws in the last 4. So a point is better than none. It is better than none, and it's progress towards improvement. So they're on 12th with 9 points. So okay start to the season. Better not to be down in the relegation zone like the likes of Wolves and Leicester and Forest. So they would just need to continue building on their solid start, but they need more wins though. The win section need to, to be ticking over, if you get what I'm saying. But I think Jesse March has done a good job with the team. Very attacking, but at the same time could be very pragmatic. Steven Gerrard, he's getting there. Has not done a bad job since he took charge of Aston Villa. Remember, they were in trouble when Dean Smith got sacked. He was called in. Didn't do such a bad job, but I think his reputation kind of overshadow what he does as a manager. If you understand what I'm saying, because he's Steven Gerrard. So sometimes we're like, oh, it's Gerrard. And if you really inspect his record, it's not that great. But still, be happy that he's not sacked. He's not like, face the same fate as Bruno Lage and what's his name? Scott Parker. So 0-0. Not much excitement to really talk about. We're not gonna get deeper into it, but a point apiece. So for Villa, their next game will be against Nottingham Forest, a match that they feel they should go on to win, followed by a big one against Chelsea. And for Leeds United, 12th, their next game is against Crystal Palace, followed by a massive one against Arsenal. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Definitely appreciate that. So, what we got here? So, you got Yoshi saying Brendan Rodgers to be sacked before Christmas. Look, it could happen quicker than that. Remember, we have a World Cup coming up, next month. So if there's any sacking that's going to happen, it will happen before the World Cup or during the World Cup. But the thing about Leicester is, like, they're not in the best financial situation right now because I think, we're trying to keep up with the big boys. You end up spending a lot of money on both wages, transfer fees, and whatnot. You know what I mean? New facilities. And then when the performances doesn't really match up and, things are not going your way, then it's hard to bounce back from that. And when a manager is under pressure, it's going to be difficult to sack him because you already commit to that manager, give him a big contract. And when you want to double back on the contract, it's going to cost you. You see? So he might just last. That's what's working for Brendan Rodgers right about now. But some teams don't really care, though. They'll go further into the hole just to sack you. So what else we got here in terms of the comment? Dennis Onan is saying tonight might see Leicester sack their manager if they fail to win against Forest. Look, it's a perfect opportunity for Brendan Rodgers to put himself in a better position. Just beat Forest. You see what I'm saying? Beat Forest. And Forest are the most likely team you're going to beat because look at where they are in the table. Look at how they've been performing. They're disjointed as a unit. So you got to take your opportunities when they present themselves, man. You see? What else we got here? Godzilla saying Leeds United playing soccer instead of football. So talk to me, guys. Talk to me before we move on to the next one, okay? Give me 1 second. All right. So what else we got here in terms of comments? Sebastian is saying, could you see Klopp leaving Liverpool down? Listen, I've touched on this and I said that if performances continue like they have been this season, Klopp would be under pressure himself. And I don't think the club would come out and outright sack him. They would have a meeting. There would be disagreements. They might be shouting. And then egos are going to be hurt. And then, Klopp might say, hey, man, I'm going to leave. So they're going to announce that he'll leave on his own, accord. They part ways by mutual consent. That is what they're going to say. You see? So, but he's under pressure right now, and it's proven that in his 7th year at his previous clubs, he usually, self-destruct. So let's see if it's going to actually happen to Klopp this season. What Liverpool have done this season, is very, very short. Very, very short of impressive. Very short. They're coming up real short. So Adnan is saying Coutinho was Brazil's best player at the last World Cup. He's fallen from grace. Adnan, do you think that he's going to make the World Cup squad? Let me know if you think he'll make Brazil's World Cup squad. So Yoshi is saying 30 plus goals for Haaland this season. I can see it happening. 30? 30. He got 14, I think. Are you saying 30? If he continues the way he's been scoring, he's going to have 30 by the time we hit what? 17 games, 16, 17 games. And if he's scoring hat tricks in every home game against Man United, who was, who beat Liverpool, who beat Arsenal, who were on 4 straight wins, what you think he's gonna do when let me just check the schedule real quick. Let me check the schedule real quick, right? Man City's coming up against Southampton next in the league. I'm not saying we're gonna blow with Southampton. We don't play too well against them, right? But we got Liverpool and Arsenal. Well, the Arsenal game postponed. We got Liverpool, we got Brighton, we got Leicester, we got Fulham, and Brentford coming up before the World Cup, right? So Brentford is a team I could see him destroying once he's fit and going, you know what I mean? Fulham could get destroyed as well. Leicester City. Listen, it could get real ugly. It could get real ugly, man. That's all I'm gonna say, right? It could get ugly. Haaland, I'm not gonna say 30, but before the World Cup, like Haaland could be at least 25 goals. 25. Adnan is saying I don't think he'll be in the Brazil squad. It's left to be seen, man. There's going to be injuries. I think he'll make the squad. Was he in the squad for the last international break? Guys, I did not pay any attention to the international break last time around, man. None at all. But I think he'll make the squad for the World Cup, though. He has not been playing too badly. So Brazil played Tunisia 5-1. And was Coutinho in the lineup? Coutinho was even in the squad. I don't see him in the squad. I don't see him in the squad. He didn't make the squad. So who knows? He might not make the World Cup squad, but let's see. Let us see what happens. Let us see. There's a lot of new faces as well in that Brazilian squad too. So I gotta check that out. Definitely gotta check that out some more. So what else we got here in comments, man? Barring injury, possibly 25 to 35 goals for Haaland in EPL. I think you guys are coming up short, though. Sebastian is saying 35 league goals for Haaland this season. And Sebastian saying Akanji got Rashford and Sancho in his pocket. Big up to Brawl Barry in the house. Guys, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Definitely appreciate it. All right. So, look, let's move on. 2 games down. Let's move on to the next one. So, before we do move on, in terms of Leicester City versus Forest, my prediction is 3-1 to Leicester. I'm going to just make that one clear. The game's coming up in about 4 hours, 32 minutes, and the seconds are counting down. 3-1 to Leicester City. Let's see if Brendan Rodgers is going to pick up his first win this season and keep Forest sinking towards the bottom of the table and take some pressure off, Rodgers. Guys, also let me know if you think Steve Cooper is in jeopardy of losing his job, because we know Premier League teams are very ruthless. They don't care what you did, bringing up the team from the Championship or on the, from being relegated to League One. They don't care. They care about what's going on at the moment. Okay? That's what they care about. Results. It's a result game. So if you're not getting results, they're going to sack you. They're going to look at some other manager and say, okay, you know what, man? I think this job is a little too overwhelming for you, Steve. And they're going to sack him and call in maybe a foreign manager or something. You see? So let's keep an eye on that situation. The Brendan Rodgers situation at Leicester. and Leicester's situation in the league as well, and Nottingham Forest and Steve Cooper's, fate. Let's keep an eye on that one. So 3-1 is my prediction. If you guys have anything else to say about this game, let me know. So Sebastian is saying 2-1 to Forest. Doug, Cooper has that Olympiacos owner. He sacked Carlos Corberan after 6 weeks. Listen, that's what I'm telling you. Managers, their jobs are not safe. They're not safe. Players are under contract, and you don't really see players get frozen out of their contract and sent down to play with the youth team very often. You don't see that. But you see managers just get the plug pulled on them like immediately. So Godzilla is saying 3-1 to Leicester, and Doug is saying yes, Steve Cooper's job is in jeopardy. Adnan, Leicester's defense is in shambles, but I think they'll give Rodgers more time. It's not much more time because, after the first how many games Leicester has played so far, they're at the bottom of the league, 7 matches. You lost 6. Remember what happened to, who was that? That's Ronald De Boer or Frank De Boer. I could never remember which one of those brothers was actually in charge of Crystal Palace. It's one of them. And I have a list of things here, brothers and stuff on Wikipedia in my what you call it there, my favorites. And I have to brush up on that because I'm really not let me see if I can find that. Netherlands. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Damn, I can't even find it. Netherlands. The Netherlands or Netherlands? Yeah. I have to do a let me see. Yeah, they don't even have it here. They don't even have it here. Let me see something. One of you guys will help me out. Oh, Frank. It's Frank. Okay, it's Frank. I always get mixed up whether it's Ronald or Frank, man, because they identical twins. And I can't remember. I think both of them are like crap as managers too. So yeah, he lost his first 6 games in charge of Palace. They brought in Roy Hodgson, and Hodgson saved Palace ever since. Palace been good. BX gonna say 3-2 to the Foxes. Okay, thank you there for that prediction. So anything else for you guys have to say? Drop it in the chat. And we are definitely going to discuss that. All right. All right. Let's do this. So let's move on to the 4th game. We discuss 2 results and we talk about 1 match coming up later on today. Let's touch on Southampton 1, Everton 2. So we're finally going to talk about some goals. Okay. And my prediction for this game was actually an Everton win. I predicted a 2-1 win for Everton. So even though most of my predictions wasn't really on point, to be completely honest, they weren't bad. You see what I'm saying? They really weren't bad. So Everton with another win. Congratulations to Everton. I've always, spoke highly of Everton, unlike most Liverpool fans who don't really speak highly of Everton. They want to see their rivals down in the championship. But for me, I've been giving Everton a whole lot of credit for, the recruitment in defense, for just their style of play. They play some level-headed football. You got to give it to them. You really got to give it to them. They struggled last season, survived, and they started, okay. I don't want to say poorly, but they've been okay. Let's say they came off to a slow start and things are slowly picking up. So in this game, Southampton scored first, Joel Aribo in the 49th minute, and then immediately Connor Cody in the 52nd minute smashed in one from close range volley, and Dwight McNeil 2 minutes later with a brilliant goal himself to give Everton the win. So that Dwight McNeil goal, there was actually a foul in the build up there that could have been a penalty, but McNeil just smashed it in, and you could forget about giving a penalty. This ain't FIFA. You're not playing FIFA where if the player gets tackled, cleaned out, and you still score, guess what they do? They give a penalty. and you're like, oh man, I don't want a penalty. I just scored. You see what I'm saying? That's not the case. But, give it up to Everton, man. Give it up to them. Good performance. I have to say, with Southampton, the lineup's too erratic. Let's check the lineup, right? Way too many changes. Duya Chaleta saw making his debut. Juan Larios making his first start. You see? I don't know how fit Mohamed Salisu is, but you break up the center-back partnership of Bella Kochap and Salisu. What you think gonna happen? You see what I'm saying? And you put Larios in at left back when you have guys like Perot, who's been starting and coming off the bench. So it kind of baffles me, some of the decisions made in this game. Ainsley Maitland-Niles giving his first start as well. Like, what are you thinking? You got guys like Diallo on the bench that's been playing. Give him the game. Bring Ainsley Maitland-Niles off the bench. Let him warm up to the Southampton team and, just don't throw him in there. I think Joe Ariba was brought back into the team. Sekumara as well. It's too many changes, man. Way too many changes. You got Genipo. These guys have been playing. Elianusi has been playing, so Adam Armstrong has been playing. So I don't really get the chopping and changing. I think, what we could draw from that is Ralph Hasenhuttl still does not know his best 11. And that's all I'm going to say about that situation. He's under pressure. He's always been a manager under pressure. Always finds a way to, wiggle himself out of it as well and, make things work. Is it going to happen this season? It's left to be seen. I predicted Southampton to get relegated. And the kind of signings that they made, the youth, the inexperience, it could happen. Or they could just go on to have a magnificent season. But let's talk about Everton. Frank Lampard, I think, made a gutsy decision not to start Anthony Gordon, but maybe he's just giving the young man a little bit of, rest, taking some pressure off of him because he's been the go-to man, right? So maybe it's proved to be a good decision. Demari Gray has been playing well, and I think maybe by bringing in Dwight McNeil, giving Anthony Gordon a break, it could be more to do with McNeil than Anthony Gordon, to just show McNeil like, okay, you're part of the bunch, get your confidence up. And that goal would do him a world of good because his last season at Burnley was not good at all, man. He was hardly involved in goal scoring. He was not productive at all. And that would help him out. That would definitely help him out a lot. I won't be surprised if the next game he's on the bench. You see what I'm saying? And then he could come off the bench and use that confidence to maybe help Everton in a tough situation. But I don't see Gordon going back-to-back games on the bench. Or maybe Gray would get a little break and Gordon would come in. So you could see Idrissa Gueye slotted into the midfield like he never left. Alex Iwobi has definitely been one of Everton's player of the season so far. And you see that big boy, Amadou Onana? Look, he has a bright future, man. This kid has a bright future. He was highly influential in the game. And if he continues, like ever since I saw him run on the field for Everton, I knew he was full of talent. He should be in the Belgian squad for the World Cup too as well. So, look, in the defense, Seamus Coleman coming in for injured Nathan Patterson, and he put on a good performance as well. Connor Cody and Tarkowski has formed a solid backline there for Everton, and that's what you need. And most importantly, they had the number one goalkeeper back, Jordan Pickford. 2-1 to Everton. The Toffees are proving that they, would continue to remain a part of the permanent furniture of the Premier League. And they pick up yet another 3 points. So with those 3 points, Everton climb up to 11th, 10 points. They have not lost in their last 5 games, which is very, 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 very important. 5 games. When was the last time they actually lost a game? It probably stretched further back. They lost to Aston Villa on the 13th. So ever since the 2 losses, so they've gone 6 games without a loss. 7 in all competitions, right? Including that League Cup win over Fleetwood Town. So, listen, it's fair to say, I know it's going to be a little controversial, but Everton are in better form than Liverpool. They are. They are. They got the same amount of points, and Liverpool got 4 draws and a loss. Even though Everton got 4 draws and 2 losses, they're still, in better form right now because we expect bigger things from Liverpool. You get the point. So I think the Everton camp right now is a happier camp than the Liverpool camp. And I'm comparing Liverpool because it's a Merseyside matchup right there. And the last game they played against each other, it was a draw. It was a 0-0 draw. So, yeah, 10 points apiece for both teams, even though Everton played 1 game more. So, for the Toffees, their next game will be against Man United. That will be a big test. That will definitely be a big test there. Definitely a huge, huge test. So let's see if Lampard is made of the real stuff. Let's see what cloth he's cut from. And if he goes on to get any kind of result from that Man United game, whew, that'll be a very, very good thing for their confidence. And I would like for them to get something from the game as well. I won't put money on it, but I think the way they're playing right now, they can get something from that game. So in terms of Southampton, guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. I will hit the chat pretty soon. Southampton are 13, so they're not doing too bad this season. 3 losses, 3 draws, 2 wins. No, I'm reading the wrong team. They're 16th. I'm reading Bournemouth. I don't know why. Southampton do have 7 points, right? Not a terrible start. 7 points, 8 games, but their form in the last 3 games, last 5, I should say, is worrying. 4 out of their 5 losses this season have came in the last 5 games. Cause for concern. They got to pull things back. Could they do it? Their next game is against Manchester City. The team that you absolutely don't want to play in that type of form at the Etihad as well. But we know Southampton, the City's one of City's bogey teams. They could well go out and put on a masterclass, put out a clinic, and pick up a 1-1 draw or something, or even a 1-0 win. I'm not going to put that past Southampton. But the form that Kevin De Bruyne and Foden and Haaland is in right now, I highly doubt that's going to happen. After the City game, they do face West Ham, followed by a matchup against Bournemouth. So that's my thoughts on that game. Guys, let me know yours. Big up to everybody in the stream. Make sure you guys smash up the thumbs up button for yet another live stream. I know I haven't been putting out a lot of videos lately, but I make sure I'm coming back with a live stream to talk Premier League football, talk the previews, the reviews, and we're going to take a look at some of the other leagues today as well. I'm going to do that. And I'm also happy that the fall is here, so I can throw on, these cool jackets, you see what I'm saying? And be nice and cozy down here instead of being all hot and sweaty in the summer. Yeah, summertime I like summer, but I have a love-hate relationship with summer. And I do with winter as well. You know what I'm saying? The best seasons for me, it gotta be spring and fall because they just in between, man. And not too cold, not too hot. So I guess my favorite seasons are spring and fall. So let's continue, man. So look, big up to Antoine Eugene. Thanks for coming through. He says, "What's up, Dom? Wouldn't you be happy to see Manchester United relegated?" And it would be nice, but they're not going to get relegated. So it would just be a bit delusional of me to say these things. You see what I'm saying? So big up to Barbara Abe. Says Dominic the Great, OG. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have Yoshi saying Everton squad is stronger on paper. It showed, than the Southampton squad. Big up to Elias Abs. And Yoshi saying props to Lampard for getting him back on track after last season. Adnan, Iwobi has been doing really good playing in central midfield. Lampard realized that he doesn't have the tools to play on the wing. Yeah, he doesn't score enough goals to play as a forward. Your forwards need to be scoring goals. That's why they are the most forward players on the team sheet, on the field as well, for them to be in the positions to score goals. And we know that when it comes to goal scoring, Iwobi doesn't have his head there for that. He blasts them all over the place. He scores an odd goal here and there, but midfield, he's been good, man. He's been really good. Wasn't that Iwobi for that lob? Yep, I think that was Iwobi for one of those assists. Yep, the Dwight McNeil assist. Definitely Iwobi, man. So kudos to him. Kudos to him. So look, we're gonna keep it moving though. Well done by Everton. Hard luck to Southampton. We talk some more about these teams on the preview. So when the preview comes around, I'll look more into some of the latest news updates and all that good stuff. I'm not going to get into that right now unless it's something major like a sacking. And in terms of a sacking, let's talk about West Ham 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. What was actually my prediction for that one? I predicted a 1-1 draw. I did give a lot of credit to both teams who has not been in the best goal scoring forms. I think they came into the game on 3 goals apiece, but West Ham, put that all behind them. Back 2, but for Wolves, still stuck on 3 goals, the worst attack in the league this season. Look, before we get into anything, right? Bruno Lage officially sacked by I see I'm about to say Leeds, Wolverhampton Wanderers. And the thing is, right, that's how ruthless teams are. Very, very ruthless, because Bruno Lage did a great job last season, but towards the back end of the season, Wolves were horrible. You see? And the form bled over into this season, therefore causing the manager to lose his job. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull up the official Wolves website, the press release for that, and just going to read a little bit of that article. Wolves part company with Lage. All right, do not add to browser, please. And do not eat the cookies. Reject all cookies. Not now. Wolves have parted company with head coach Bruno Lage. Lage had been in charge at Molineux since June of 2021. Guiding Wolves to 10th place finish in its first Premier League season. During that campaign, Lage was awarded Premier League Manager of the Month for January and guided the club to memorable victories at Aston Villa and Man United. While improving Wolves' point tally from the 2020-21 season, Lage developed young players such as Max Kilman and Raya Aït-Nouri and oversaw the squad's transition, which brought the likes of Jose Sa and Mateus Nunes to the club. Wolves chairman Jeff Shai said, Bruno is an excellent coach, a hard worker and a dedicated manager, and a warm, wise, and honest man. He and his staff have been a pleasure to work with throughout their time at Wolves. So it is with much sadness that we have had to make what has been a difficult decision. But you made the decision anyway. It's hard, it's difficult, but you made it. You see what I'm saying? Why couldn't you say, we're going to give you a couple more games? No, you didn't. You made the decision to sack the man. And you're coming out with this baloney of an article talking bunch of shit. You sacked him. Just come out and say, I know it's professional to do this, but come out and say Bruno Lage has been garbage for the last, let's say, 15 games. Therefore, his results have been diminishing and we decided to sack him. Simple. I don't even want to listen, man. Bunch of bullshit. Because Bruno Lage did great as a manager of Wolves. Really, really good. Wolves had peaked. They couldn't have done better. Couldn't have finished higher than 7th. He came in, oversaw the transition. They did well. What the hell do you guys expect? Champions League? When you have Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, United, City, and Liverpool? Delusional. Seriously. Over-ambitious. Even though he's been poor this season, Get him at a couple more games, man. At least let him go up until the World Cup, and then, you know what I mean, if things ain't working out, then Bruno Lage himself would have been like, yeah, man, yes, just sack me. Sack me. But anyways, Wolves can confirm that experienced coaches Steve Davis and James Collins will prepare the team this week for the trip to Chelsea. All right? So the interim managers are Steve Davis and James Collins. James Collins sounds a little familiar. Is that James Collins that used to, the Irish guy? That sounds familiar. I don't know if it's the same guy. That sounds very, very familiar though. James Collins, Scottish. I think he's Scottish or something. Let me see. It might be him. I don't know. It's Irish. I think that one was Irish. I can't. Guys, enlighten me. Let me see something. Let me see if it's the same guy. Let me see. Most of the James Collins that I looked up actually died already, you know. So yeah, I don't know, bro. Sounds familiar. Maybe I'm mixing up the wrong James Collins though. So yeah, if any one of you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know. But anyways, man, that's it for that one. Let's go back. Bruno Lage is history, and let's just get back to the results here, and let's talk West Ham's victory, well-needed victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Gianluca Scamacca in the 29th minute and Jared Bowen with a brilliant goal in the 54th. I do have something I did save. Let me actually see if I could pull it up right now on Scamacca. Let me see if I could pull that up right now. I think I did save it, but maybe I didn't. All right, I guess I didn't. Save it. But anyways, I remember it from the top of my head. Every game that Scamacca has started this season, most of the games being in the Europa League, did I save that on my Twitter? Did I retweet that or something? I think I didn't. I thought I did. But every game that he has started, West Ham won or draw. So I think this is like his second Premier League start or something. And look at the result, a win. But I understand it's just hard to just drop Mikel Antonio like that because of what Antonio has done at the club, right? You can't just say, Antonio, you got a new forward, you dropped. You see what I mean? So you have to play it smartly. Even if it costs you a few games, you got to do it for the welfare of the player as well, right? Show some loyalty, something that most clubs don't show to their managers. Mikel Antonio, you see, came on in the 66th minute. Scamacca went off. So they're sharing the workload there. But it might be more effective right now to play the more informed striker, Gianluca Scamacca, who came over from, I think, Sassuolo in good form, right? I think he was linked with a move to PSG too. That didn't happen. And he just can't come into the West Ham team, a team that did well last season, and just start ahead of, Antonio, who did really well playing as a forward. Maybe his last season wasn't the best, but still, you got to show some respect. And I know Antonio would understand, like, okay, I'm up there in age as well. Let's give the younger striker the opportunity to shine for the betterment of the team. I'll play second fiddle. It takes a lot. Sometimes you got to put your pride aside. You just got to put it to the side. And I've been trying to drill this into some people's head, like I got a friend and I'm, telling her, like, listen, sometimes you got to put your pride to the side. It might not be the best situations. People might disrespect you out here, but sometimes just put your pride to the side for your own good, for the betterment of everything. Anyways, Maxwell Cornet did start the game. You could see he went off pretty early in the game, injured, so hope he's okay. And on came Pablo Fornals, and I think he came on and definitely changed the game as well. Look here. This West Ham team is way too talented for the start they had this season. It has not been justified at all. Too much talent in this team. Look at that bench. Ben Rama, Antonio, Lanzini, Fornals, Kufal, Areola, a World Cup winner. You see what I'm saying? Agbana. These guys were all first team players. Emerson. You see what I'm saying? So I think the results, good result, great result. And we might see David Moyes continue to play a similar 11. Tilo Kehrer is going to be a happy man because he's had a horrible start to life at West Ham. That would do him a world of confidence, world of good. Craig Dawson, who's been, on the bench as well, came in, did well. So all positives for West Ham here. And most importantly, a lot of pressure off David Moyes. I don't think his job was in jeopardy, like jeopardy, but we know how clubs are. We'll be here, chilling one day, and you just hear Fabrizio Romano, with a tweet that West Ham are discussing options to replace David Moyes. It happens. Same thing with Bruno Lage, right? But look, for Wolves, man, they've been horrible. They just can't score. And I think, when you can't score goals, it's either two things. You don't have the right players up top, or you don't have the midfield to feed the players up top. And it could be a combination of both, where maybe João Moutinho is way out of his depth now. Maybe that's what it is. Matheus Nunes is still adapting to the league. Pedro Neto, since that injury, he's not been the same player. Podence could contribute here and there, but he's not a striker. And Gonçalo Guedes is, not lived up to expectations, I have to say. But they've been it's quite unfortunate for them that they brought in Kaladzic and he got injured. But then again, you got to blame yourself. If you look at Kaladzic's injury record and how big he is and his height and his weight, maybe you could conclude that he could be a little injury prone. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that was not the striker to bring in. You get what I'm saying? So it's all about decisions, man. It's all about decisions. Maybe the manager pushed for that player, and then the board said, you see, we said that we don't want the player. You pushed for the player, and then what happened now? We wasted our money. Maybe it's not gone to waste. Maybe he'll come back when he's fit and he'll bang in, some goals at the back end of the season and help Wolves stay up. But as of now it's the most important thing. It didn't work out. You see what I mean? And Diego Costa did come off the bench. Adama came on early for the injured Pedro Neto. That's not good, you see? And I did put out a tweet that said Bruno Lage got sacked for not trusting Adama Traore enough. Maybe it's true. Maybe it is true. But look, man, Wolves are in the hole. They're in the mud. It's going to be difficult for them to get up out of it. And let's see who they're going to appoint as their permanent manager. Is it going to be Pochettino? Or names being thrown out there already? Let me actually check Twitter really quick and see what's going on here. Let me see if Fabrizio Romano saying anything about that. Let me see. Oh boy. I ran into some news here too. Christopher Nkunku to Chelsea. Wow. Okay. I know I ain't got to Chelsea yet, but Christopher Nkunku had a medical with Chelsea confirmed as called by Bild. Chelsea sent long-term contract bid to Nkunku to prepare the deal for 2023. It's not done yet. Chelsea and RB Leipzig will speak about 60 million euros release clause or different deal structure. Okay, splashing the cash. Absolutely splashing the cash. Oh my God. Anyways, man. Let me see what else. Anything to do with Bruno Lage here. I ain't seen nothing here when it comes to Bruno Lage as yet. If you guys saw anything, let me know. But nothing as yet. Nothing. Not one thing yet. Okay, so all right. Yeah, nothing yet. Nothing yet on the Bruno Lage situation to really talk about. I'll update you guys in the future. So, look, big win for the Hammers. With that win, they go outside the relegation zone up to 5th. You see what a win can do to you? You see what it can do for you? You go from in the relegation zone to 15, 7 points. 7 points. Second win of the season for West Ham. They do have 5 losses and a draw for them. Their next game will be in the Europa Conference League against Anderlecht. That's coming up this Thursday. Then the next Premier League game is a London derby against Fulham. So, look, with that being said, Wolves are in the relegation zone. They have been pulled in 18th with 6 points, 1 win, 3 draws, and 4 losses. It's not bad. 8 games, 6 points. It's still early. Get the manager a little time. It's new, still fresh, but no, you want to sack. Their next game is against Chelsea. Then they followed up against Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, and Leicester. You see? So let's say, okay, he loses to West Ham. Let's say he loses to Chelsea too, right? But then you give him the opportunity, and then he bunks back with 3 wins against both, these 3 teams, Forest, Palace, and Leicester. Let's say that happened. Then immediately things look a lot better. And with that momentum, you never know what could happen. But everybody just like to pull the trigger, man. You see? So, what are you guys saying in the comments right about now? So, Yoshi says Kamaka had a golazo. Yeah, that was a really good goal, man. That was a really, really good goal. And he also said, end of the Portuguese revolution at Wolves. I don't think so. Really don't think so. They're probably gonna bring in another Portuguese manager to take charge. And I think who is actually available these days? Is that guy available? What's his name again, man? Damn, can't remember his name, man. Can't remember his name, but damn. It almost came to me. Fonseca. Is Paulo Fonseca available, or he's in French football right now? Let me see. What club is he managing these days? What club is he managing these days? Paulo Fonseca is in charge of is Lille. Yeah, he's at Lille. Yeah, they ain't getting him. They ain't getting him. So I don't know who they're gonna get, man. Really don't know. It's left to be seen. Are they gonna get Pochettino? I don't know. It's left to be seen, man. We're not gonna speculate too much on that one. So big up to Alan Martin, who says greetings, Dom, and hope and well done to City, putting Man U in their place. Haaland needs to be deported with immediate effect for the sake of the Premiership. Yeah, he's been nuts, man. It's like he's just, he's leveled up since he left the Bundesliga. I know he was scoring a lot of goals in the Bundesliga, but for some reason, these goals seem to have a lot of spite in them. Like he's just doing this to just prove a point. You see what I'm saying? Just be like, y'all thought I wasn't going to succeed in this league. This league is easy. And he just smashing them in. It's like he's gone into beast mode every single game. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue, man. Big up to everybody in the chat. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. And if you're watching the replay, thank you very much. All right. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Let's move on to the next match. And let's talk about Newcastle beating Fulham, rinsing them out 4-1. So my prediction for this game was actually a draw. I could remember predicting a draw for this. 2-2 draw. 2-2 draw. I was kind of leaning towards a Fulham win for some reason, but I changed it to a draw. But Newcastle, who needed a win badly, because look, if we check the stats, right? We check the stats, check Newcastle's form. Let's check Newcastle's form. and you see exactly what I'm talking about here. Results, check Newcastle's results. They were 1-1, 0-0. They lost to Liverpool 1-1, 3-3, 0-0. They needed that win badly. They needed that. They had not won a game in what? 5 matches? So, well, 6 actually. 6 games without a win, including a loss in there and 5 draws. They needed that. They really needed that. And they got it. They got a little help, a lot of help. And I was actually surprised when I saw Nathaniel Chalobah in the 11, because I was saying to myself, listen, Chalobah is a quality player. When he was at Watford, he used to get into the England team. Maybe some of you guys might say, oh yeah, that's Gareth Southgate calling him up for no reason. But Chalobah is a quality midfielder. You see what I'm saying? You know, so him getting his first start this season, I was like, yeah, boy, Chalobah, finally, free the boy Chalobah. And then within 8 minutes, rugby tackle, and he's off. Oh my God! Listen, man, that knocked the stuffing out of Fulham. Whatever they had going was hard to recover from that. Too early in the match, and then Callum Wilson with an 11-minute goal. It's kind of scrappy goal, kind of tapped in at the far post. Well-needed goal for him coming back from injury. 1-0. And then the boy Miggy Almiron, of all people, getting in the act. Very good goal in the 33rd minute. That was a brilliant loft, man. Bruno Guimaraes. Woo! That was sexy. That was sexy, man. That was sexy. You could put that ball right there in a bikini. That was sexy. I'm telling you, that was brilliant. The loft and the left-footed volley. No chance for the goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. I did talk about the goalkeepers during the build-up. Nick Pope and Bernd Leno were my players to watch. And, Leno ended up taking the ball out the back of the net 4 times. But look, no fault of his, really. He tried his best, pulled off a few saves. A couple of the parries were put in. No fault of his. But as I said, Fulham, who has started the season very well, got under a disadvantage early in the game with that red card. It's not easy to play 10 against 11. It's very hard. It's very, very difficult. So Miguel Almiron in the 33rd minute, and Sean Longstaff from the rebound in the 43rd minute to give his confidence a whole lot of good. It will do his confidence a whole lot of good, because since his breakout season a couple years ago, when him and his brother Matty broke out, and I remember Matty scoring a winner against Man United as well, Matty's career has not really lifted off, and Newcastle has really stuck and put their belief in Sean Longstaff. So kudos to them for sticking with the player. But Matty's still out on loan trying to develop and get his confidence back. So who knows? Maybe the Longstaff brothers will link up back at Newcastle next season. You see what I'm saying? Because the way they broke out, I thought that it's going to be a formidable midfield partnership there. Brotherly love in the midfield for Newcastle. 43rd minute goal, good stuff. Joe Willock linking up with, the 11th minute assist and the assist in the 57th minute for the second Almiron goal as well, which was another good one. Almiron did score a third goal, but it was chalked off for offside. And that would have been crazy if Almiron went on to score a hat-trick, because he doesn't score that often. You see what I'm saying? So that's put him on a whole nother level. And where I was actually saying, okay, with Callum Wilson fit, Isaac fit, what are you going to do with Almiron? You see what I'm saying? Almiron would be the player to actually miss out, right? But he's putting his hand up and say, hey, man, I'm here to stay. Okay? I think he was even linked to the move out of Newcastle, but he's here to stay. But look, big up to what's his name? Eddie Howe and his team. If you look at the team, is well set up, quality in all over the field. Nick Pope in goal, great acquisition. I can't talk. Acquisition. They were able to bring in Botman, Trippier. We know how good he is on the dead ball situations. Fabian Shaw was one of the quality defenders that were in that mediocre Newcastle team, I should say. And Dan Burn, he's proven himself to be a very, very good bargain deal there. Joe Willock has stepped up. He's gone quiet since that loan stint from Arsenal. But Bruno Guimaraes has been one of the best signings, made in 2022 when he came in January. Spoke about Longstaff, Jacob Murphy getting a rare start as well there. So even with the injury woes, Newcastle are still flying high. And Fulham may look at this as just a minor setback. A major setback, however, is losing Mitrovic. They will be hoping that his injury isn't too serious. I'll give you guys more update on that when I preview the weekend games. But Daniel James starting, Deckard Overreed getting that consolation goal in the end would just help the team when they start the next game. That's all. Because they got to put this behind them. But the goal would help them, start the next game there. So, look, I think this was the first start for Kevin Mbabu. Tosin and Reem has done a great job, but not so much in this game. And Livin Kozawa started his first match as well. Just to check the bench really quick, Carlos Vinicius came off the bench there, and he didn't really do much. But it's hard when you only have 10 men on the field, right? So, big win for Newcastle. It was well needed. You can see Jamal Lascelles, the club captain. I don't know if he's still the club captain, getting some game time. Jamal Lewis. And some of these players, I think, I don't see a future for some of these players at Newcastle United at all. Matt Target is now fit again. You see he came on late there in the game. But, Jamal Lewis and Lascelles, their future at Newcastle does not look bright. A rare rest given to Joel Linton. Maybe he wasn't fit enough, but we know that he has been a part of this Newcastle team from the start. Most games he start, and he didn't start this. If I didn't check the bench, I would have been, because for some reason I'm like, so maybe Eddie Howe is just switching it up a little. With all those draws, you have to tweak things a little to get the results that you desire. And I think, good on the manager to do something like that. Is he going to get into the next game? Maybe he would. You see what I'm saying? Maybe he would. So big win for Newcastle United. Fulham put in a spliff. As my boy Doom Man say on Twitter. Big up to the boy Doom Man. Fulham definitely put in a spliff, and reality check there. They have to go back to the drawing board and look to get back to winning ways or picking up points. Not a bad start to the season for Fulham at all. They dropped down to 8th, 11 points. Only their third loss this season under Marco Silva. And for Newcastle, they jump up above Fulham to 7th with their first win in about 6 games we counted? 11 points. So not a bad start at all. Not a bad start. They continue like this, they'll be okay. So for the next game, Newcastle would come up against Brentford, and then they have a big one against Man United. And for FC Fulham, the next game is a London derby against a West Ham team coming off of a Europa Conference League match. So that's very important to mention, okay? So that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the chat, guys. All right, so Matata, did Dominic Rich get drunk before the match? No, I didn't. I worked quite a lot yesterday. I actually I went into work late. I got there about 5:45 or so. And I didn't get home until after 10 in the night. So I was out grinding all day yesterday, man. Gotta make this money. Gotta make this money, man. Gotta definitely make this money. So, look, let us move on. But before we do, what else are you guys saying in the chat? Godzilla King, the Premier League is becoming a farmers' league, but slowly. You see, the thing is, when Man United and Arsenal used to dominate the league, nobody was calling it the farmers' league. You see what I'm saying? But now City is dominating. It's the Farmers League, right? But then again, that's the definition of a Farmers League. So if we are to win in every season like Bayern Munich and make it a Farmers League, so be it, man. So be it. People would still go out to watch because they'll have hope that they could win. But Man City would just snatch that hope from right under them. If the hope is what's carrying you, if hope is actually your vehicle, City would just slash the tires. You get it? But anyways, let's move on. Let us move on, man. Next game that we're going to talk about. Guys, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button for the stream. We definitely appreciate that. Let's talk. We got a lot of games to talk about. And the next one, let's talk about Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 2. And I got to say, I feel bad for Palace, man. I really do. I really do. Even though I predicted a win for Chelsea, a 2-1 win at that, exact scoreline prediction as well, I did think that Chelsea would have won the game because if you check their last 11 games or so, I'm only going back, it could go further back, but let's say 11 games because the last 10 was all wins for Chelsea. And this one, add that one to the bunch, right? You have to beat Crystal Palace. If you're gonna compete for the title or top 4, you gotta beat teams like Palace. No disrespect to Palace, but you gotta beat them. You have to. And that's exactly what they did. First Premier League match under Graham Potter. His first game was in charge of Chelsea against Salzburg, a draw. And this one being an away game, picked up a win. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang equalized after Hudson-Edwards' early goal. Very good goal by Aubameyang after Thiago Silva's header set him up. Good swivel. And we could discuss that Thiago Silva should have been sent off. So Chelsea had a lot of luck going there for them in this game. Substitute came off the bench, saved the day. Pulisic linking up with Conor Gallagher. Worthy of a goal. This one will be nominated for Goal of the Month for October for sure. And, break the hearts of the Crystal Palace fans. He's a former Crystal Palace loanee. Chelsea loaned him to Crystal Palace. He developed well. Chelsea decided to keep him, and he's repaying dividends to Chelsea and not to Crystal Palace. Palace wanted to bring Gallagher back to the club, and you could see why. That was a worldie of a goal. But look, listen, Palace got to blame themselves. They give the player way too much space. They know what he's capable of doing. I think he bagged about 7 to 8 goals there in our competitions last season. And you give him room like that, the quality of the youngster. And he punished Crystal Palace. That would do Conor Gallagher, his confidence, a whole lot of good because it has not been a great start to the season for him at all. So, listen, a goal is going to do a lot to your confidence. And both Aubameyang scoring his first goal for Chelsea and Conor Gallagher, his first goal for Chelsea as well, I think, at least this season, give Chelsea the 3 points. To just touch on Graham Potter, right? Could see Conor Gallagher pictured there, right? To just touch on Graham Potter. I don't understand, right? How you're manager of Brighton and you carry yourself like a bum. Literally, like a bum. And now you get the big boy job at Chelsea. You're looking like a model? Maybe not a model, but you guys get the point. The man's looking sharp and spiffy. You see what I mean? And good result for him, man. I like Graham Potter. I always said that I wanted Graham Potter to manage Man City when Pep leaves, but that still could happen. But then again, I won't want a manager that Chelsea sacked, if you get what I'm saying. Meaning that I really do not want Thomas Tuchel at the club in the future. Let me just put it out there one time. don't want him. And it's hard to think about the club without Pep right now, too, you know? It's really, really hard. But it is what it is. Pep can't be there forever. Or maybe he will. Who knows? But good win for Chelsea, and it was not the best performance, I have to say, with Graham Potter still trying to, perfect things over there. Only his first game in charge. The manager that would feel really, really aggrieved at this result is Patrick Vieira. Too many times have Crystal Palace take the lead in games, play well in games to at least get a point and go on to lose. I think this is their weakest well, I won't call it an attribute, but their weak point. I think it's a weakness. The weakness of Palace is game management. That's one of their weaknesses. They find themselves with only 6 points after 7 games, 1 win, 3 draws, and 3 losses. Is Patrick Vieira under pressure? We got to ask that question as well, because I think he is. He looks a worried man on the touchline. But you could say the fact that they have not kicked the ball in almost a month, it's hard. You see what I'm saying? And they came off of back-to-back draws. In the game against Brentford, they should have won that game. They conceded a late goal to Johan Wissa. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's just the problem for Crystal Palace, right? Against Man City, 2-0 up in 21 minutes. Lost the game 4-2. You see what I mean? Do I need to continue? Wilf Zaha against Liverpool. 1-0, 32 minutes. Drop points. Kudos to them. They still pick points off Liverpool, but still, that has been the story of the season. Too many games where they're dropping points from a good position. That's the 4th game. 4th game out of 7. It's too much. It's over 50% of the games. But they had bright spots, you know what I mean? I like, Olise. I think he had a good game. For the most part, I think they managed Chelsea very, very well. Hard luck to Klein, who had to go off, stretch it off early on in the game. His injury record. Hope he's going to do okay. Because it's not, who knows, maybe that was his last time recovering from a horrible injury. And this time around, he won't be able to come back and play at high levels, you see? So, our prayers with Nathaniel Klein. But Eze had a solid game. I think the midfield of Olise, Eze, Doucouré, they look good. Edward scored a good goal. Zaha did his thing. But you got to give a lot of credit to Graham Potter. Forget about the guys who started for Chelsea and didn't really shine, right? Forget about them. Let us talk about the changes that were made. The changes. Conor Gallagher, Christian Pulisic, 76th, 84th minute. Amanda Brozier came on and Loftus-Cheek came on there too. But the Pulisic and Gallagher linking up for that goal, ultimately the catalyst for that Chelsea win. Big calls made. Kalidou Koulibaly not starting. It's going to be some tough decisions. When you have Aspilicueta, Koulibaly, when you have Wesley Fofana brought in for 100 million, Thiago Silva, quality, Reece James, Chilwell, Cucurella not fit. It's going to be a lot of headaches there for Graham Potter, but, I think in due time, he will find his best 11, something that I think Thomas Tuchel failed to do throughout his entire Chelsea stint. Never he got his 11 right, in my opinion. And every time I talk about Tuchel and Chelsea, I just get mad because Man City should have got a Champions League in the bag, and we let it slip to this Chelsea team. And it just pisses me off every single time. Seriously. Anyways, let not your heart be troubled, Dom. Let's continue here. But oh man, good win. Good win for Chelsea. Palace was missing Joachim Anderson. So, they'll be hoping to get him back soon. And, still early in the season, guys. Let's not lose our heads here. Let's not lose our marbles. It's very early. James Tompkins got his first run out for the season. Schlupp off the bench. I want to see more of Malcolm Ebiowe. I want to see more of him because he's a talented player. So let's see how both teams progress. So it's a low-key, not the most entertaining London derbies, but Chelsea won't care. They walk away with the 3 points. Chelsea fans, if you're watching this, let me know how you feel about your team so far this season. Shout out to my boy Raheem Sterling. He's not my boy anymore. If Sterling know what I've been saying about him, he'd be like, damn, don't even mention my name out your mouth, boy. But he was playing as a fullback in the game. So out of position. I don't think that's his best position, but, it's left to be seen, though. Raheem the Dream still doing his thing. But it's actually nice to see the back of him. Look at how well we're doing without Raheem Sterling. Anyways, man, let us keep it moving. So for Chelsea, they move up to 5th, 13 points, 3 wins in the last 5, 2 L's. Their next game is a Champions League game against AC Milan, who are coming off of a league win, very entertaining league win there against Empoli. Then in the league, they play a struggling Wolverhampton Wanderers, AC Milan again, and then Aston Villa. For Crystal Palace, who are way down in 17th on 6 points, their next game is against Leeds, followed by a matchup against Leicester City. So the next few games, let's say the next 6 games, 7, 8, 9, the next 9 games are actually very good fixtures. They have Bournemouth, Fulham, Forest, Newcastle in the EFL Cup, West Ham, Southampton, Everton, Wolves, and Leicester, along with Leeds. Kind fixtures for Palace. This is a perfect period for them to get their season on track and for Vieira to keep his job. Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. All right, so big up to Clinical. Dropping a comment here. Honestly, Dom, I wiped that Chelsea game out of my memory. It was not the most, and it was a snooze fest, to be honest. I actually thought that Crystal Palace was going to pull it off, but Conor Gallagher, man, I was watching this game as well. Conor Gallagher did the thing. I was watching 2 games at the same time. I think I was watching a Liverpool Brighton game and this Chelsea game. So, yeah, bro. I was just before this live stream, I was watching the Empoli AC Milan highlights at the back end of the game, and Leao is not going to be an AC Milan player next summer unless they give him a new contract and put like a 200 million release clause in it, because he's gone. He's developed very, very well. I'm actually proud of him, man, because when we had the hype over João Felix and Gonçalo Guedes, these players earned big moves. Guedes got a move to PSG. Don't know if y'all remember that. Guedes was signed by PSG at 17 years old for big money, about 50 mil, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And João Felix went for over 100 mil. And Rafael Leao, I heard, chirps of him and nothing too crazy. And he's really developed. So, you mean, no, I meant the final. I hate Chelsea. Yeah, I know. Oh, the game. Clinical. I forget you're a Man City fan for a second there. But guys, let us keep it moving. We got a few games to talk about. Let's talk about this game here. Arsenal 3, Tottenham 1. Big win, man. Big win. Big win. I predicted a draw for this one. I'm actually, believe it or not, guys, I'm still a bit skeptical of Arsenal. Even with them having such a good start to the season, I'm still skeptical. I'm still having second thoughts. I'm not gonna put my money on Arsenal winning the league or even being in a title race. I'm not putting my money on it. It's still early in the season. I hope I don't have to eat my words, but it's hard. It's hard to put belief in this Arsenal team. Seriously. Great start. Don't get me wrong. But if that loss against Man United is anything, we could learn anything from that, is what might actually end up happening to Arsenal. I didn't think they'll lose against Spurs. I predicted a draw. You could say Spurs came up short. You could say the red card actually helped Arsenal to win in such a convincing manner. You could say anything you want to say. But unless this Arsenal team rinse out Man City and Liverpool, I'm not believing in them. I want to see Arsenal beat Liverpool and then pick up something against City, a draw or a win. And then next time they play United, beat them, and then and only then, I'll believe this Arsenal team can go on to win a title. Because the way Man City are playing right now, the only unbeaten team in the league, Man City, the way they're playing right now, I can't think of Arsenal actually bettering them. You see what I'm saying? I read the defense of Gabriel and Saliba, how all the praises Saliba has been getting. Let's see how he does against Haaland and De Bruyne and Foden. Let's see. But not to take anything at all away from the win. Big win. Big win. Thomas Partey with a worldie of a goal. Brilliant. Too much space given to Partey. Ben White with the assist. And the Ghanaian just put it in the top bins. Great goal. Fetch that out of the back of the net. Hugo Lloris. Great goal. Tottenham did equalize to Harry Kane. Richarlison brought down by Gabriel. Sloppy play. Good breakaway by Spurs. And by the way, Son Heung-min started the game. Didn't do anything. Nothing at all. Nothing. So maybe they should have brought him off the bench. You know what I mean? But look. Arsenal responded after the first half break. It was 1-1 at halftime. I was saying, okay, good prediction, Dom. You predicted a draw. It's looking like it's going to happen. Same old Arsenal, not finishing off their food. And there goes Gabriel Jesus. It was a scrappy goal, but still, you know what I mean? Good effort, saved, and spilled by Lloris. Slapped in by Gabriel Jesus. It was actually, I think, saved by Lloris onto the defender, back through Lloris again, and then Gabriel Jesus was actually there to put it in. I think that's how it happened. So Jesus with yet another goal this season for Arsenal. I think he has 5 now, which is brilliant, man. I think, he's come of age, and maybe under Pep Guardiola, he was on a leash. Let's put it that way. He was on a leash. Because at City, he wasn't really allowed to do his thing. Like, hey, go out there, you could dribble, do whatever you want, kind of role. He was given strict directions, and it kind of hampered his style. It cramped his style, I should say. So at Arsenal, he's playing a lot freer, and he got 5 goals, man. And that's high for Gabriel Jesus after how many games so far for Arsenal this season? 8 games. So he's almost at a goal a game. Brilliant stuff by Gabriel Jesus. He's been a revelation. It's a great signing. Also, Zinchenko came back into the team recovering from injury. So I guess that helped. You know what I mean? I'm happy for Zinchenko. Was a big part player at City. Rose up the ranks and got a big move. Big move to Arsenal. Thank you, Arsenal, for taking Jesus and Zinchenko off our hands. Man City have then gone on to upgrade on those players. That's how you stay dominant. That's how you win league titles. You move players on and upgrade on them. You don't move them on and replace them with a player, lower on the scale. You see what I mean? Low, you see what I'm saying? You don't do that. You don't sell players and say, okay, this youth player is actually going to replace them, an unproven youth player, or you say, oh, this older player is going to slot in. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You keep your team improving, and that's what City have done. That's what Arsenal have done as well. That's why they're doing very well in the league so far. So the Emerson red card, horrible, horrible tackle, man, and very rash. Heard a commentator saying it was harsh. It should have been a yellow, but nah, man, that was a horrible lunge, and he deserved the red because could have injured the player, though. Definitely could have injured the player. And I think that was actually the right decision. If I could recall, I think a yellow card was given initially, of course. And he could have injured Gabriel Martinelli. You see? And I think Martinelli would actually want to be in that squad for the World Cup. And if you're gonna take him out like that, he won't stand a chance. Duh. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if he'll make the squad still, but you want to be fit. You want to be fit and give yourself every chance of making the squad. That is something I actually want to discuss sometime in a live stream, like who will make the Brazil squad. Is Martinelli going to be there? But look, Emerson sent off for foul on his fellow Brazilian player, and he'll miss about 3 games for dangerous play because that was indeed dangerous play. So, Spurs do have adequate, backup in Perisic could play over there, Dougherty as well, so they'll be okay. They should be okay. And Granit Xhaka with a very good goal, man. Him and Martinelli linking up, man. I'm like, it was good one too. The run by Xhaka, brilliant stuff, man. And clear path to goal. Easy. Granit Xhaka is playing a lot more advanced these days with Thomas Partey in the team, and a solid win. No win would feel sweeter for Arsenal than a win against Spurs. And they have been doing very well against Tottenham in home games, but it's the away matches that Arsenal do not play well. So if Arsenal are to convince me that they're going to go on to win a title, you got to beat Spurs on the road. You got to beat City twice. You got to beat Liverpool twice. You got to come back and beat United. You got to beat Chelsea. And unless you do these things, I ain't going to take you serious. I won't. Seriously. I won't. But are they a more improved team? Are they playing a lot better than they have over the last few seasons? Yes, they are. Would they get top 4? I think they would. I think Arsenal will be back in the Champions League next season. As for Spurs, right? Not a great performance. I think they were too standoffish. They tend to play without the ball a lot and tend to depend on the counterattacks. And sometimes you really can't do that. Even though it's worked for you in the past, you got to switch things up. You see what I mean? And I think that might be one of the Achilles heel of Antonio Conte's Spurs. And it's a poor result, man. Poor result. And that is actually another poor result after that we could think back recently, the beating in the Champions League. You see what I'm saying? So some cracks actually showing in this Spurs team. Even though the personnel is there, have a deep squad, a lot of quality. Poor result, nevertheless. The result against Sporting and now the result against Arsenal. So you're seeing some inconsistency creeping into their game right there, right? So look, you could go all the way back to the West Ham draw. They beat Fulham, right? Beat Marseille, but lost to Sporting. Beat Leicester, now lost to Arsenal. So the inconsistency creeping back into the Spurs team after a very solid start to the season. That was their first loss in the league. They are 17 points, third in the league, right? Still a good little margin between them and Brighton, but Brighton played a game less. Chelsea would still be a point behind them if they win their next game. It's still a solid start to Spurs this season. Are they going to get top 4? If they continue like this, losing, join, no. You got to win games, and especially against the teams around you. So, look, it's my thoughts on the game, man. Don't want to be too long. Still have 2 more games to talk about, and we're going to get into those. Look, for Arsenal, the next game is against Bodo Glimt. Arsenal is still on top of the table. 1 loss, 7 wins, 21 points, 1 point above Manchester City. The game against Bodo Glimt is going to be a big test. Arsenal are going to rotate because it's the Europa League. You want to rotate your team. You want to give youngsters like Marquinhos a run out. You know what I'm saying? You want to give some of the fringe players some game time to help out with their confidence. And that's what they're going to do in this game against Bodo Glimt. And what's going for them, they're at home. Bodo Glimt is a better home team than they are an away team. So it's going to still be a very good one, though. But the big test this Sunday, Arsenal versus Liverpool. And this is such a huge game because if Liverpool lose this game, then it's indications, clear indications. I don't want to say that the wheels are falling off, but the bearings are actually grinding right now. Liverpool needs some wheel bearings right now. If we want to get into some automotive terms, Liverpool need to change their wheel bearings because the wheel bearings are actually starting to grind. Okay? And you're not going to get very far with the wheel bearings grinding up like that. For Arsenal, it's going to be a test of their character. They're at home. Could they get back-to-back wins against Spurs and Liverpool? If that happens, the level of seriousness goes up. How serious are you going to take Arsenal? There's a scale, 1 to 10. It's going to move up. You get the point. It's going to move up. Let's keep an eye on that one. That's going to be a big game. The preview is going to come up later on this week, most likely on Thursday. I got to actually put in a schedule for that. Guys, make sure you smash the thumbs up button for the live stream. Big win for the Gunners. Huge loss for Spurs. And let me know your thoughts. So let me see what you guys are saying in the house. Whoever is in the house right now. Sebastian, Arsenal are going to destroy us on Sunday. I don't know if I could. I don't know. That's going to be a tough call, man. But it could happen. It could happen. Big up to Carlton T in the house. Haaland on fire, man. Damn. Lego dude, I don't think Emerson Royale is that good for Spurs. He should be on the bench. He isn't that good and he isn't disciplined. Clinical. To be frank, though, Zinchenko, we didn't improve on it. What? What? We didn't do what? Bro, have you seen Sergio Gomez? Have you seen Sergio Gomez? Did you, bro, you didn't watch the derby. You didn't watch the derby. You know what it is? You know what's been happening? People have been mixing up Sergio Gomez and Phil Foden. People have, even the commentators have been thinking that Phil Foden is Sergio Gomez at times in the game. That's how good he's been playing. That's how good he's been. Sergio Gomez is the real deal, bro. Just if you don't know, I'm going to let you know. Sergio Gomez is the real deal. He is the real deal. And I could tell you, if he continues to have such a good, let's say he has a good month of October, like Pep give him a lot of game time, right? And he plays this well, and he plays in the Champions League, he might get called up for Spain's World Cup team. Okay? Sergio Gomez is the real deal. Okay. I rest my case. I know I see some people not agreeing, but it is what it is. You see? Godzilla King is asking, did Gomez play versus United? Yeah, he did. He did. He was the one who set up the Erling Haaland goal. The second goal for Erling Haaland, I think. No, the third, the hat-trick goal. Sergio Gomez set up that goal. if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check something really quick. I think that was Sergio Gomez that set up that goal. Yep, that third Haaland goal, the hat-trick goal, Sergio Gomez. The commentators thought it was Phil Foden, but I've spotted. I didn't know much about the player, but I saw what he did in the few cameos he had. He is the real deal. Remember, he used to be a midfielder, and because he couldn't get game time at Dortmund as a midfielder, he's converted to a left back when he went to Anderlecht. Got to know your players, guys. Got to know your players. So he has that midfielder mentality, which is perfect for Man City. The fullbacks do tuck into the midfield because City play with the ball for most of the game. So for most of the game, you don't need a fullback. So then you have Rodri and the two center backs playing as the defensive shield. And then you have the two fullbacks slotting in the midfield to crowd out the midfield to keep possession. Anyways, let's get back to proceedings. Let's get back to proceedings, man. Let's talk about this derby. Let's leave the Liverpool game for last. Let's leave that one for last. Let me make sure I've already talked about all the other games. Spoke about Arsenal, this game, spoke about that one, Southampton, West Ham, Leeds. Yeah, we spoke about all the games. Let's talk about the derby, man. Let's talk about the derby, man. Yeah! Let's talk about the derby. Let's talk about it. I mean, listen. Okay, let me tell you a story, right? My boy Finn from South Africa, he has a YouTube channel, Finn Kraus Football. He linked me. He said, Dom, I want, give me your thoughts on the game. He said, we're going to do a WhatsApp call. And in my mind, I'm like saying to Finn, why are you going to do a WhatsApp call and you're going to screen record it? Why you don't just hit me on StreamYard? Because in my mind, the last few screen recordings I did, no voice came out. And I think there's an option you got to pick where the voice is recorded as well, right? So I knew something was going to go wrong. And I'm driving home from work. I said, I don't have a lot of time. I'm driving home from work. I'm giving my thoughts. And I give United so much respect. So much respect. And I predicted a draw. Finn hit me up later. Finn said, bro, no voice was recorded, bro. My bad. I'm like, relief. Because I no longer think that United could pick up a draw against Man City. So when I did my preview, I went in for a 3-1 win for City, and they did much better. When you go to the store, you go to the chicken spot and you say, hey, man, let me get a 3-piece. And when you get home and you open up the box, the girl in the store that you'll be flirting around with give you a 6-piece. Woo! That's how good I felt, man. Asked for a 3-piece and got a 6-piece. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Let me not lose my shit right now. Brilliant, right? 6-3. Game of two halves, where City won the first half 4-0. United won the second half 3-2. Pretty much a game of two halves. Overall, a pretty convincing win for City, right? When I initially saw the lineup that United put out, right? Well, let me react to both lineups. Let's start with United first. Okay, De Gea, Lisandro, Terrell Malacia, Varane, and Dalot was an expected backline. The midfield, however, and the forward line kind of baffled me. I expected Bruno, Christian, Anthony, and Jadon Sancho, but I didn't expect Ten Hag to put Scott McTominay and Rashford into this 11 because Rashford, even though he won Player of the Month for September, he's coming off of an injury. And Scott McTominay, I don't think, is good enough to come up against a quality team like Man City, and he proved that on the day. He was absolutely useless. Rashford, useless. Literally useless. Should not have even touched the field. Didn't do nothing. You know, like when you say, yeah, Rashford did his thing, and that thing is nothing. Yeah, that is exactly what happened there. So I think that's where Ten Hag got his lineup wrong. Right away. One of Fred or Casemiro should have started ahead of McTominay. Let me just say that. And Marcus Rashford should not have played. It should have been Cristiano Ronaldo. It should have been Ronaldo. Let me just click on Ronaldo right now. Cristiano Ronaldo looked so hurt. So hurt in this game, guys. So hurt. I've never seen the man look this low before. I was like, wow. You could see that shame on his face. Like, I can't be, like he wanted to cry. That feeling like, damn, I can't believe me, CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the GOATs of all time. Not just in my era, of all time. And I'm on the bench. 4-0 down against City and you don't even call for me? How? He's trying to wonder how. And I think it's a big insult to Cristiano Ronaldo because since he came to United, he's been one of their best players. There's many times he bailed them out last season. And the regime has changed twice. From the Solskjaer regime to the Rangnick and now to Ten Hag. And he's like completely like out of favor in the league. And now he's playing Europa League for the first time in his career. At least his senior career. When he's Ronaldo, and not like a youthful Ronaldo. Because I think he did play some European Cup playoffs or something before qualifiers with Sporting, if I'm not mistaken. But not starting one of the greatest players of all time is sending a big, a huge message to Ronaldo himself that he's not part of the future plans. There's nothing else I could come up with here. That's the best he's not part of the future plans. Ten Hag does not see Ronaldo in his plans. And after the World Cup, Ronaldo have to, not even after the World Cup, right now, he got to look for a way out in January. I don't know if it could happen, but in January, you got to look for a way out. Anyways, rest my case. Let's go back. Let's go back here. What a win, man. What a win. Erling Haaland giving man of the match. It could have easily been Phil Foden because, Phil Foden was brilliant. But Erling Haaland also picked up 2 assists for both, 2 of Foden's goals. So Foden in the 8th minute. Brilliant play. Bernardo with the square. And just the way Foden hit that ball, like, when you hit something, but you don't want to hit it too hard or too soft, but you just give it that touch. Oh, that was exquisite, man. I was like, yeah, baby. Off to a great start. Man. And then the first Erling Haaland goal. Oh, whew. Jesus Christ. That was a header, right? That was a De Bruyne cross into the box. What was that? The header? Was that the head? I think that was a header, right? When the goal line technology had to come into play, I think that was a header. And then the 3 minutes later, when De Bruyne just bent it behind the Man United defense on a run by Erling Haaland. I know I'm getting the goals right, but I just can't remember which was scored first. There's so many goals, 9 goals to remember. Well, it was just brilliant, man. It was just dominant football from the start in the first half there by Man City. They were all over Man United. I thought we were actually watching, Manchester City versus that United of Manchester. That other club. That other club in Manchester. Club. I can't remember what it's called. Club Atletico de Manchester. But look. Brilliant goal. I don't know. I don't understand how it's a telepathy between the two players, but De Bruyne just bending that ball behind for Haaland and how he's connecting perfectly with these. I just can't. I can't understand it, man. I really can't understand it. Brace for Haaland, 3 up for City, and then Foden follows up with with his second goal with Haaland squaring for him this time around. Look, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to understand how Man City was so good in the first half against a Man United coming off of 4 consecutive wins. That's the thing. That's the thing that was trying to figure out how did United go from that beating Liverpool, beating Arsenal to this? It just shows the gap between the Manchester clubs, Manchester City and Man United. And I don't want to hear nobody tell me about spending because United are spending more money these days than Man City. They spend more money this season. They were just completely outplayed in the first half. But the second half is a different story. If we learn anything from this game, Man United, if they had put out the 11 that they had in the second half, if they had put that out from the beginning of the game, we could have seen a more level derby than this one-sided one that we witnessed. Because that goal scored by Anthony, exquisite. Exquisite, man. Exquisite. Edison, I don't know, man. You got to save those. He didn't anticipate it one bit. And he got beaten. That was a good shot by Anthony, but we got caught out. I didn't really care. We're 4-1 up. I didn't really care. But as Pep said, there's still many things to work on. That's the thing. Still many things to work on. Oh, I forgot to mention the substitutions made in the first half as well. Rafa Varane and Kyle Walker had to both go off injured. And you see Walker, Varane went off. Lindelof came on for the first time this season. And Kyle Walker off. And Sergio Gomez came on. He went over to left back and Cancelo went to right back. And look, just before I get into the second half, continue where I was, talking about. Credit to Man City, right, for the depth of the squad. Just the depth. I said I was going to react to the 11s, and I didn't react to the City 11. But just to double back and credit Man City for the squad depth. Edison, we know, is going to be in goal. But Ortega Moreno is worthy of even starting some of these games, in my opinion, right? Pep, he has so many quality players to his disposal that he could say, Ruben Diaz, take a break. And he continued with Manuel Akanji, who had a magnificent game. He's doing it with ease, carrying the ball through the midfield, his passing range, his heading ability, everything, man. What a signing. I know a lot of people are saying Akanji who, but what a signing. But the versatility of the players, Ake, who later slotted over into left back when Laporte came on. But imagine having, right, Walker and Cancelo as your right back options, and John Stones, who's been playing right back. Don't forget that. So when Stones is injured, Walker could play. When you want to rest Walker, Stones could play, right? Laporte's been injured. You bring in Ake. You have Akanji as a backup as well. Akanji starting. You have Cancelo playing left back. Then you have Sergio Gomez as a left back. Then you have Ake who could play at left back. You have Laporte who could play at left back. You have Rodri who could drop back in as a center back if you need him. The squad is so deep, and I think that's what's responsible for Man City's success over the last few seasons, right? The midfield. Rodri doesn't play. Gundogan steps in. You don't even know he's on the field. He's a smooth, quiet operator. Bernardo, he's doing his thing. Kevin De Bruyne is pulling the strings, right? Erling Haaland up top. We run out of superlatives to say. It's just been brilliant. Jack Grealish had a great game. Jack Grealish has been good in the last couple of games. Credit to Grealish. He's came under a lot of criticism, but credit to him, he's bounced back. And if he continues playing like this, then we would see that Aston Villa Grealish that we came to love, right? Foden, a hat-trick. Whenever I see Phil Foden, I think about Brahim Diaz. I know he's doing okay at AC Milan, but he went to Real Madrid thinking he was going to star over there. If he was still at City, he would have been on the level of Phil Foden. Phil Foden is he has the highest market value for any player in the Premier League, I think. I think even over Erling Haaland, if I'm not mistaken, which is absolutely nuts. Phil Foden is something else, man. Foden is something else. He's going to score goals. He's going to assist goals. He's going to help out in defense. And that's the thing about this Man City team, helping out in defense, going back, tracking back. And this is something that Anthony doesn't do enough of, Sancho doesn't do enough of, Rashford doesn't do enough of, and it's the difference between the teams. Everybody's in at City, everybody's not there for Man United, and that's how they lost the first half so horribly and ended up losing the game so badly in a derby. You see what I mean? So, actually, Erling Haaland's market value is higher than Phil Foden. So I double back on that. Haaland is at 150. That probably rose up to 150 across the last couple of weeks too, man. So, let me just see how that market value rose. Let me see if the market value rose up this season. No, it's actually been at 150 for a while. I think Foden is probably the most expensive English player. Maybe he's up there. He's up there though, or at least the youngsters. But look, not to get too distracted. Let's get back to the second half here. I'm going to give a lot of credit to United in the second half because they played the way they should have played all game, right? Changes were made, but some say, or some may criticize Ten Hag for not making the changes earlier than he did. Malacia was taken out of the firing line. Luke Shaw came on. He did well, changed the game. Anthony scored that goal in the 56th minute, and then some changes were made. Martial came on. He ended up scoring a brace. Very good goal in the 84th minute. Fought for that goal after that Edison save. And that penalty, just a soft penalty, I think. Inconsequential and well put away. Well, you could see the changes. McTominay came off. Casemiro came on. So, look, I think Terrell Malacia deserved this place because he's been playing well. But maybe there'll be a rethink there and give Luke Shaw the opportunity because Shaw didn't really do much wrong, but he didn't start the season well. One insult that I think Pep really showed it to, or he sent out there to Man United was when he made the quadruple change in the 73rd minute by taking off Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Cole Palmer, and Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan all came off, right? And quality came on the field. Palmer, Mahrez, you had Laporte coming on, and Julian Alvarez. We didn't play well, but we didn't need to. Pep was only taking that time to give his players some game time, build up their confidence, because we got a Champions League game coming up against Copenhagen, and I think Pep's going to change up his lineup for that one as well. Man City should go on to easily win the game too. Back-to-back Champions League games against Copenhagen should be a walk in the park, which would at least help City, further oil up their engine by giving a lot of players game time. You see what I'm saying? So this machine called Manchester City is going to be very, very hard to stop. And that's an understatement right there because they've been hard to stop for years. Are Man City going to go on to do the three-peat? Guys, it's looking like it's absolutely going to happen. I didn't call it at the beginning of the season. It looks like it's going to happen, man. It looks like it's going to happen. As I say, this is still not the finished product. Pep said it, and I'm saying it too. This is not the finished product. We could be better because this could have been 7-0. But it ended up being 6-3. So we got to look at, okay, where could we improve? Too many goals conceded. Look at how we conceded the goals. You see what I'm saying? Don't give quality players space. Be alert. For when the ball is saved, you're there first to clean up. Don't give away too many needless penalties. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of room to grow and improve. And as long as Pep feels that way, he would want to continue as a manager of the club and want to just continue to be perfect. Man City are putting themselves in a very good position this season, I have to say, to win the Champions League, because the last couple of seasons, we've been teasing. Final, semi-final. This year, we got to win it, man. You got to win it, or you could do whatever you want in the league. The opposition fans are not going to respect you. You're going to say the Premier League is a farmers' league, and win the European competition, and then we give you some respect. Your respect level is going to go from maybe 60 to 90. So, look, that's my thoughts on the game. Man United, absolutely humbled, well-deserved. And as I said, and I'm going to continue saying it, how did this team beat Arsenal and Liverpool and get slapped up by Manchester City? Soap up, washed, rinsed out, and put out to dry. Phil Foden, Erling Haaland scoring hat-tricks. I don't think this has ever happened in any Premier League game, right? We got to check the insights for this one. We definitely got to read out some insights for this one. I'm pretty sure we have some. All right, we got some. I'm going to share some insights with you, some stats for you, right? Look. Let's look at some stats. Man City's 6-3 win over Man United was the highest ever score in Manchester derby in any competition, with today the two sides is 187 competitive meeting. This was the first time that Manchester City scored 6 goals in a home game against Manchester United in all competitions, while the previous 2 instances of City scoring 6 versus United came away from home, 6-1 in January of 1926 and 6-1 in October of 2011, which was one of the darkest days for United, actually, in a derby. Manchester United conceded 6 goals in a Premier League game for only the 4th time, with 2 of these coming against Manchester City. Also, October, beautiful October, man, of 2011. It was also the 5th time they had lost a Premier League game when scoring as many as 3 goals as defeats came away from home. All defeats came away from home. So, look, the commentary said Man City sent down a statement to move within 1 point of Arsenal at the top of the Premier League, hammering rivals Manchester United 6-3 at the Etihad Stadium. Erling Haaland and Phil Foden both scored hat-tricks, each netting twice in the first half to hand their side a 4-0 lead before finishing the job in a second. Anthony Martial and Anthony notched consolation efforts for United to add an element of respectability to the scoreline, but City were dominant and highlighted the gulf in class between the two Manchester clubs. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful summary, man. It couldn't have done it better, man. Couldn't have summarized it better. So I actually want to check up to Joe for some stats as well before we move on, right? And I'm going to go over to Twitter and we are going to check the up to Joe for some fun stats. Guys, I tell you, when I have time, I could give you some fun stuff, okay? 5, with 3 goals and 2 assists against Manchester United. Let me just click this so you know, okay, you see who I'm talking about. Erling Haaland recorded the 25th instance of a player being directly involved in 5 goals in a Premier League game, with the Norwegian, the youngest player to ever achieve this feat, 22 years, 73 days. Phenom. We have any more up to stats? All right. Let me see. Erling Haaland had a hand in 5 of Manchester City's 6 goals against Manchester United. Today, 3 goals, 2 assists. The most goals involvement by a player in a single league Manchester derby. Sensational. I love this picture, man. This picture right here, I just love it, man. And when he went over to do this celebration, I was like, yes! Pull it out! Pull it out, baby! He pulled out this celebration when he scored a hat-trick. That was a brilliant hat-trick as well, man. Woo! Damn. How many goals is he going to score this season? That's just another question. I'm salivating. Just talking about Erling Haaland. Let's read this one too. I like when you could click and have the words on the side. But anyways, 17-10. In Erling Haaland, 17, and Kevin De Bruyne, 10. Manchester City have both the highest scorer and highest assister in Europe's Big Five leagues in all competitions this season, with De Bruyne already assisting Haaland 5 times. Demolition. Haaland with 17 goals in all competitions. De Bruyne with 10 assists. Why is up to Joe's page talking just about City? Wow. Anyways, in Erling Haaland, 3. In Erling Haaland and Phil Foden, Man City are the third side to have 2 hat-trick scorers in a single Premier League game after Arsenal versus Southampton in 2003, Jermaine Pennant and Robert Pires. And Leicester versus Southampton in 2009, Ayoze Perez and Jamie Vardy. Historic. So it's not the first time it's done twice before, but it's not something that happened very often. 3. Erling Haaland is the first Manchester City player to score a hat-trick versus Man United since Francis Lee in December of 1970, and 3rd overall, also Horace Barnes in 1921. Throwback. Crazy, man. Erling Haaland is also the first player in the Premier League history to score a hat-trick in 3 consecutive home games in the competition. Monster. Jesus Lord, man. The guy's taking over the up to Joe's page. This is crazy. And I think there's more. Since the start of the 2020-21 season, Man United have conceded 4+ first half goals in 4 Premier League games versus Spurs in 2020, Liverpool in 2021, and Brentford in 2022, and City today. This is twice as often as many as any other side in this time. Humbled. God damn. I'll be damned. 50. Phil Foden has scored his 50th. I repeat, his 50th goal for Manchester City in all competitions, age 22 and 127 days. He is now the youngest player to reach 50 goals under Pep Guardiola, surpassing Messi. Prodigious. You gotta be kidding me. I'm hyped up. Have all reason to be. Age 22 and 73 days. Erling Haaland is the second youngest player to score in his first Manchester derby for Man City in the Premier League after Mario Balotelli in 2011. 21, 72 days. Always. Listen, man, we got more. Do we? All right. We ain't got no more. That's enough. Don't want to rub salt in the wound anymore at all. You know what I mean? Have you ever felt salt in the wound? It's not a great feeling. And we're going to leave this right here for when we get to the Liverpool game, because we're going to transition over to that one pretty soon. Okay? So let's just go back here to just round things off and, leave this one in the past. Going to move on. We have to move on. Big win for Manchester City, man. Big win. And well deserved. But only second in the league. As I said, there's a lot more to do. A lot more to do. 1 point behind Arsenal, and it's a lot of points. Liverpool could tell you 1 point is a lot of points. They lost the title twice by 1 point. It's a whole lot of points. So unless we get over Arsenal, I'm still not satisfied. Anyways, with that being said, for Manchester City, the next game would be at home in the Champions League against Copenhagen. That's actually coming up on Wednesday. And the next Premier League game is against Southampton. And the one after that is against Liverpool, where your boy, Dominic, me, I'm going to be there. I booked my flight. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I try to do a vlog for y'all. I have to get my GoPro warmed up and ready because I have to do a vlog for that one. You know what I'm saying? I have to. Okay? Big up to AOJ who said Rico Lewis as right back to. Yo, listen, man. Listen. We got players coming through the ranks. It's okay. It's okay. We got players coming through the ranks. We don't need to unleash everything right now. We really don't. We don't need to unleash everything right now. We got players coming through the ranks, okay? We ain't gonna do that right now. We ain't gonna rub it in right now, okay? When they think we ain't got nothing, we got something, all right? We got something up the sleeves. So look, I'm not gonna go further than the Liverpool game. I'm actually gonna try to do somewhat of a preview before I head on over to England. I'm gonna do that the Thursday night of the Thursday would be the Saturday 5th, the 13th. I'm gonna do a live stream, and when I come, I'll actually try to do something from like the hotel room the night of when I get back from the game. I'll try to do something. I don't know how. If the Wi-Fi is good, I'll do a little stream from my phone. If the Wi-Fi sucks, then I'll just record a video and put it out. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man. Anyways, I don't think I'll do a stream though. I think I'll just do a recorded video or something. And when I come back, I do another one. So yeah. With that being said, guys, for Manchester United, who right now, minor setback, they dropped to 6th, 12 points. Their next game will be against Omonia. I think that's a Cypriot club, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll be going on vacation over to Cyprus, and then they come back against a very gritty Evertonian team, and then they play Armanoia again at Old Trafford, then they play Newcastle, then Spurs, then Chelsea. So it's not going to get easier for Ten Hag and his boys. The test is truly here. Are they going to pass? It's left to be seen. With that being said, man, big up to everybody in the stream. Appreciate you guys coming in for yet another one. Guys, make sure you smash up the thumbs up button for the stream, man. Listen, where the Liverpool fans at? They're hiding. They're hiding. They're hiding. Why are they hiding? I'm not even going to spend a long time talking about this Liverpool game, to be honest. Let's talk about it, man. Big up to everybody in the house again. Z Ghoul, happy belated birthday to you, man. Appreciate you coming through. And you said, Dominic, what's up? Good win. A month without football for United didn't help, but congrats to City. Best team in the league. Any other team United scored 3 against, they win. Yeah, see you at the OT. Big up. Anyways, man, listen. Happy birthday to you again. You know, maybe we link up next year in Carnival, St. Vincent, you know what I mean? Anyways, let me see what else you gotta say. That didn't take away. We are a good team, still progressing, expecting top 4 minimum. Well, don't get your hopes up too high, bro. That's all I gotta say. Big up to Shane Mousse as well. Arsenal and Liverpool are not on the level of City. We United expect to beat these teams: Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. City are unbelievable team. It wasn't a good performance from us. Okay, so Shane Musa saying excited to see a vlog for the game versus Liverpool. Lego dude, Haaland is a cheat code. I'll keep saying it. He has 14 goals in 8 games. Guys, do you think he'll hit 40? The last player to get close to 40 is Salah, 32. And we were saying all that season, is he going to hit it? Is he going to hit it? Is he going to hit it? Well, he didn't. He didn't. So let's see. So let's talk about the final game. And that's Liverpool 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. And I have to say, Brighton's first game under Roberto De Zerbi, it was a good one. But I'm kind of disappointed in Brighton for giving up a 2-0 lead, allowing Liverpool to go 3-2. Like, you score 2 and allow the team to score 3 on you, like in quick succession. You see what I'm saying? But credit to Brighton for bouncing back with that equalizer. I'm going to share a picture with you guys. And I want to share the picture because I actually want this player to give Liverpool fans a nightmare for the next couple weeks, right? I want to just find this picture. Right? Give me some time. Let me locate this picture, right? Just give me some time. Just give me I don't need much. But this is what Liverpool fans will be seeing in their dreams and their nightmares very soon. It's the boogeyman, and his name is Leandro Trossard. See? I've been talking up this player a lot. I've always said good things about this player. Always said good things about this player. Always. And he came up clutch on the day for Brighton. What a hat-trick. What a hat-trick. So the scores, Trossard, 4th minute, 17th minute, 2 brilliant goals. Trent Alexander-Arnold is absolute crap. Poo-poo. As they say in St. Vincent, 2-2 in defense. Literally. 2-2. Oh my God, I've been saying this. I've been saying this all along. I've been saying this all along. And everybody has been coming at me. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Trent is the best right back in the world. Trent is this, Trent is that. The man is 2-2. Anyways, let me leave it like that. Let me not rub it in. Let me not rub it in. But it's been justified. It's been proven that Trent is garbage as a defender. Right? Don't tell me about sometimes. Don't tell me sometimes he does good. You have to do good more times. Yeah, there might be a mistake here and there, but you gotta be doing. Listen, you can't go to your job and be doing half-ass work all the time. You might do some things good, but they don't care about the things you do good. It's when you come up short, that's when they're gonna punish you. And now you see why Trent does not get minutes for England. He's a good attacker. And I think Klopp maybe needs to recognize that. Recognize that. Tweak your system a little bit. You need a creative player. Maybe put him in the midfield, man. Put him in the midfield where he doesn't need to defend too much. Have a proper right back. Trent could always run over on the wings when he feels like it. But put him in the midfield with his distribution and his quality. Take him out of the firing line. He is not a good defender, and that's going to continue costing Liverpool. Because if you go back to the AC Milan game, right? Not AC Milan, the Napoli game. I'm not saying AC Milan. The Napoli game, you could see exposed. You go back to many times teams score down the left, exposed. Anyways, I'm not even going to waste my breath talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Seriously. He's a good player. I'm not going to say he's not a good player, but he's not a defender. It's the same way you could say Kyle Walker is not a good attacker, but he's a good defender. Going forward, he's not the best, but he's a right back. You see what I'm saying? Trent is a midfielder transformed to a right back, so you're going to see weaknesses in his defensive side of the game. Anyways, Virgil van Dijk has also been 2-2 this season. I can't believe I'm saying this. He has done nothing wrong for the past few seasons. But this season, he has been 2-2. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm speaking all facts. Liverpool fans could run and hide all they want. Can't win them all. You can't win them all. But when you lose and you draw, come and take the criticism. Not talking about a handful of people. Show up like you show up when you win. I think this Liverpool team have definitely peaked under Jurgen Klopp. And he has not helped by promoting the likes of James Milner and Jordan Henderson. Seriously. Players like Tsimikas should have been getting a lot more game time when you see Andy Robertson's form has been dropping off. Once you spot the player's form dropping off, take him out the firing line, help him get his confidence back up. Don't keep him out there, getting exposed all the time. You see what I mean? When you check the lineup here, I was like, what? Klopp, what is going on here? That's the first thing I noticed, right, with the lineup, right? I was like, nah, something's a little off here, right? I like Carvalho, right? But you got to start Diaz. If you're going to make any big calls, it is to drop Henderson and play Carvalho where Henderson is. But that's the problem with Klopp. He doesn't want to make these big calls. He doesn't have the balls to make these big calls, right? Seriously. I'm serious. Drop Henderson, play Carvalho there, play Luis Diaz, and then you have a lineup because Firmino's been playing well the last few games. You have Jota to come off the bench. You could always bring Henderson off the bench to, do a little thing in the second half if you're winning. You see what I'm saying? But if you're losing, you're not going to bring him on. Then you're going to take off Tsimikas and bring on James Milner. Like, what are you thinking? Are you nuts? Like, seriously. There's where you should... There's where squad depth comes in. I know there's players injured. I know that. But still, there's where squad depth comes in. Seriously, why are you bringing Arthur? Why bring him into the team? Why? And you're not playing him. What is he there for? What I once Liverpool signed Arthur, I'm like, garbage signing. Why you bring him in? Why? He's not playing, he's not starting. If you don't want to play him ahead of Henderson, why you bring him in for? Saw him in the Champions League, he was garbage. You see what I'm saying? Has not lived up to expectations at Barcelona and at Juventus. Why you bring him in for? Wasting time and money. Anyways, man, Darwin Núñez, 89 minutes. Anyways, man, listen, I ain't even going to say nothing. Listen, man, I ain't even going to say nothing else. Darwin Núñez I like when he was at Benfica. I ain't going to lie. I like him. I think he could have been a Man City player. But thank God we didn't sign him. He's been 2-2 for Liverpool. Big up to Brighton, man. Listen, Japanese Mitoma came on in the second half and did his thing. I think Welbeck had bright moments, but he should have scored more goals. And if it wasn't for Alisson Becker in this game, Liverpool would have definitely lost. Definitely, without a doubt. So give it up to Roberto De Zerbi. He was calm on the touchline. He did his thing, and he picked up a point. Brighton, Liverpool. Brighton has been getting the better Liverpool lately because, look, let me just show you guys something, right? Let's just check something. Let me show you guys. Stats. Check the stats. Head to head. Look at this. 3-3, 2-0, right? 2-2, 2-1 to Brighton. You see that? 1-1. So you see that? This has been no fluke. Liverpool have only defeated Brighton once in the last 5 games. And I feel stupid for predicting them to beat Brighton. Real stupid. Real stupid. But big up to Trossard, man. I keep talking about him. Is he going to stay at Brighton? I think Graham Potter might be eyeing him over at Chelsea. because he's a damn good player, man. Damn good player. I would love him at Man City. Let's see. Right? Let's just click on Trossard. Let me see if he fits the billing. 27 years old. Just turned 27, right? Wait, is this? No, he's going to be 28. That's in British form. He's born December 12th, okay? I think, right? So, December 4th. And not the 4th of January, April. Not April. He's 27. He does not really fit that Man City kind of player where for the age profile. But bring him in anyways. If Bernardo Silva leaves, this should be the player. Look at that. Consistency. This is Brighton you're talking about. This is a team that does not score a lot of goals. But he's already equaled his 2020-21 season and his 2019-20 season. Already equaled. In his 4 seasons in the Premier League, he's already equaled and already scored half of the goals he scored last season in 7 games. Other competitions, 1, 2, 1, no goals in the other competitions. I'm lying. So I like Leandro Trossard, man. Let's say Trossard is in his prime. He's in the prime of his career right now, where it's the time where he's gonna get himself a big move, which means more money in your pocket. Could set up yourself, for a better life for your family and your lineage. Trossard, man, what a player. As for Liverpool and Klopp, 9th in the league. I predicted this team to win the title. 10 points. That is 10 points behind Man City. 1 less game played. 10 points behind Man City. 11 behind Arsenal. They have a chance to close the gap. Bring it down to 7 against Arsenal. Well, 8 against Arsenal this weekend when they play Arsenal. Are Liverpool going to say what's up against the Gunners? It's left to be seen. More to come this Thursday when I do the preview. Brighton are still 4th. Brighton are still 4th in the league. Unbelievable. They're still 4th. No pattern, no problem. He set up the groundwork and lay the foundation for great things. They've only lost once this season. Brilliant. I still think Liverpool should have lost this game. Alisson came up with some big saves, and Brighton played the ass, and they messed around, and they almost didn't get anything. So look, questions have to be asked. Is Klopp's job in jeopardy? This ain't no kind of position any Liverpool team should be in. But I don't think so, because we saw that season when they were struggling and they did bounce back to qualify for the Champions League, right? We did see that. A lot of injuries that season. A lot of injuries this season as well. But excuses should not be made, right? Come better. Is it the Sadio Mane effect? Maybe. Did they replace Mane adequately? Maybe not. Right? Are Brighton going to get top 4? Maybe not. Most likely not. But who knows? Top 10? Most likely. If they continue playing like this. If they manage to hold on to the likes of Trossard in January. So, with that being said, a lot of questions asked. Are Liverpool going to win the title this season? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It ain't happening. You do not win no title like this. This is not it. I know Man City have bounced back after post start, but I don't see no bouncing back from this Liverpool team. 5 months later, Dom, that comment didn't age well at all. Nah, I don't even think anyone's going to say that. But we have not seen the qualities of a champion in Liverpool this season. And I rest my case. So, For Liverpool, next game is in the Champions League tomorrow against Rangers. And then they play Arsenal Arsenal on the weekend, followed by another game against Rangers. And then the big one! The big one! Against Manchester City. My first Premier League game once everything goes smoothly and I land and I get through immigration and everything. You know, I'll be at that game. Followed by one against West Ham. So it's a tough period for Liverpool to go through, and let's see how they fare, man. Let's see how they fare. So as for Brighton and Hove Albions, where the seagulls fly in any weather, their next game is against Spurs, followed by another one against Brighton and Hove Albion. Look, guys, that's it for this week. Before we do leave, let's just check one thing really quick. Let's just check the stats really quick. I remind you that Erling Haaland has 14 goals this season. Harry Kane, 7. Mitrovic with 6. Firmino with 5. Gabriel Jesus, Phil Foden, Ivan Toney, Leandro Trossard with 5. Alexis McAllister and Rodrigo with 4. Leading the assist charts are Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva with 8 and 4. Saka has 4. Firmino, Jesus, Haaland, Jack Harrison, Iwobi, Dejan Kulusevski, and Ivan Perisic with 3. Clean sheet, Edison with 4, Sa with 3, Pope with 3, Ramsdale, and Robert Sanchez with 3. Give it up to Robert Sanchez, though. Pulled off some good saves and things in the game, but I didn't even go through all the Liverpool goals and everything. I don't need to. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to waste time. I ain't going to waste time talking about this Liverpool game when nobody's going to watch, because the Liverpool fans don't really care when they lose and draw games. You know what I'm saying? And you can't improve when you don't want to work on your shortcomings. You see, I hate that. And I've learned that when I'm at work and somebody make a complaint about me, I don't just get mad. I say, damn, maybe they're right. Maybe I need to push my pride aside and just improve. If you're going to have shame and you can't have a bit of humility, you ain't going to get very far. So you got to take, when you're wrong, you're wrong. If you need some improvement, take the improvement and think. Don't run away. You see what I'm saying? Don't fight and get yourself in further trouble. But with that being said, man, guys, look, I was planning to go into the other leagues and all, but it's gone 2.5 hours. I got to hit up my boy Michael Talks Football in about 2 hours to do, a Champions League. What day is that? Day 3 predictions. So I'm going to save my energy. We're going to be on there for at least an hour. I'm going to gather my thoughts. I got to write down my predictions and prepare myself. And I'll catch you next time. Okay? So I did enjoy today's live stream. Energetic. It's early in the morning, and I'm glad I did it today and not yesterday, because I had to make some money yesterday, So the fact that I made my money yesterday, I could sacrifice the morning to do the live stream with you guys, because these days, I'm honestly, to be completely honest, I had some things to take care of, so I have not been prioritizing putting out videos and all of that. I had to pull things under control. I was losing my bearings. You see what I'm saying, guys? So I was getting a bit lazy at work. I wasn't putting in enough overtime and thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of bills, and we're in a terrible economic, times, for the lack of better words. But look, appreciate everybody tuning in. Like the video if you haven't yet done, so subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're watching the replay, do the same. Thanks everybody who tune in. Thanks to the people who continue to support the channel, even though, I'm not putting out a lot of videos like I used to. But guys, you got to understand, I've been doing this for 5 years. I could afford to chill and relax right now, man. You know what I mean? Let the new boys do their thing and let them do their thing. And they have time. And they're not married. Some people not married. They don't have 3 kids. They don't have 100 bills to pay and all of that. I'm taking the bulls by the horn right now when it comes to my life. All right. Anyways, thanks. Just sharing a little bit of what's going on with me. So if you see me falling back, I'm not falling off. All right. So for my boy Dom, thanks for tuning in to yet another one. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.